Hi, I'm James. I live with my wife and three children in a detached house in Hazel Grove. It's a 1990s build, and we're just looking at how we can use the space more effectively. We've been living here 5 years. It's a good house, but there's so much more potential that we think we can make the most of.
Okay, so what have we done today? I'm looking down at the existing drawing.
So today we've looked at in total 6 options, 5 of which essentially look at reconfiguring what we have already.
Do you want to just talk through the existing layout?
So our existing layout, we'd walk into the house, and to the left we've got the lounge area, which we can then walk through into our dining room, and then through there we've got an orangery, which was added on by the previous owners. From the dining room, if we come back through this corridor here, we've got a room that I use as a study, which has a window that's overlooking the orangery. And then if we come back out and carry on into the this room here, this is the kitchen, which overlooks the garden, and then we can walk through into a utility room here, which is actually quite a big space looking on this, but essentially we just have some appliances at the back there, and then a lot of dead space. And then we come out here to the side of the house, and then we can walk into the double garage just here.
Okay, so where did we start?
So option number 1 was to move the kitchen to the other side of the house, which then would allow us to open up the orangery and use that space as a kitchen dining area. And then we can use the space that was previously occupied by the kitchen and then turn that into a bigger study stroke reception room, which would then obviously be looking out onto the garden. In terms of the toilet and utility room, then we'd keep the utility space but reconfigure the entrance here so that we can have units on the back, which makes more use of the space. And then we could have I think we've got a door then leading into the garage, which we don't have access to at the moment from the house.
Okay, and option 2?
So option 2 is to keep the kitchen essentially where it is at the moment, but then open up into what was the study to create a breakfast area, and then have that opening up into the orangery, which then become the dining room or dining area.
Yeah, I didn't think that worked terribly well.
Yeah, the problem with this is that when you look at the space, there's a bit of a pinch point here, and you're using a lot of space for a breakfast area, so it's not a very efficient use of space on that one.
Okay. Excellent. This one?
So option 3 now is similar to 2, but we're now leveraging a bit of space from the garage. So a corner of the garage where we have one of the structural walls. So by doing that, we can push the toilet and utility room into that space. We can then put the study in this space that was previously occupied by the toilet and utility room.
Looking out on the side.
Yeah, that gives us a better view out onto the side here, rather than where the study was previously looking back against a fence. That then enables us to open out and have the dining area more or less where we are now, but allows us to use what is the study at the moment and open up the kitchen.
Okay.
So there's less of a pinch point than the previous option. We don't have that sort of...
I think the kitchen's a bit convoluted though, isn't it?
Yeah.
My video editing skills aren't great. Right.
So what is this option 4? So
it might be better without quite a lot going on in this one. There you go.
So option 4 now is using all that space in the garage, that half of the garage now, because before we just had that, we took that corner, but now we're taking the entire half. We're putting the study at the front of the house. So we'd have a window overlooking the front road. That then allows us to bring back a toilet and utility room further back. So it opens up this space better here, so we don't have this sort of pinch point that we had on the previous option just here. So now we can open out entirely, and we've got kitchen, dining area, and then a sort of chill out area towards the back.
There's a lot of reconfiguration in this one, and I think we're looking at, if we're going to open these up, we need to thermally upgrade the conservatory to make that work. And they're still coming.
So what did we do with option 5? So that is
That's kind of similar to
similar to 4, but the utility room and toilet have been rejigged just to make better use of that space here. So we've still got the study or a day room at the front. And
open this out.
that's right. So we've made use here, I think, of the corridor, because previously we had a corridor, so now we've moved that wall back. So we've taken advantage of this space here now. So that gives us a slightly better space for the kitchen, and then a bigger dining area, and then having to use the orangery as a day room.
Yeah, incorporates it now into the space.
Yeah.
So that feels quite comfortable and spacious, but there's a lot of work in that. So from there, that just took me on to this one, which is...
So this is the no expense spared option with an extension. So the original house was here, so now we're extending out into this gap here, which is the side of the house, which isn't really used very much. And that allows us, once you've opened up, allows us to give us a kitchen here, large area here as an extra seating area, and then a nice big dining area there.
Cool.
With this option, we're obviously looking at removing the orangery, which then gives us more garden space and backyard space that has been taken up by the extension. And obviously with this as well, by removing the orangery, you've got light for the day room and study, which previously would have had to have a window here looking onto the fence. So this room is looking out into the backyard, and it's quite handy as well, because the utility room, you can walk in and out to the garden. So you've got like a...
Sounds like you're coming round to this one.
Yeah, well, So you've got muddy boots, and you can just walk through into the house via that access room there.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. And how have you found the process?
Very enlightening. It's interesting to see what you can do with all the space available, and all the different options, because you tend to just look at what you've got at the moment, but actually once you put it on paper, it's really interesting to see what potential there is. Just depends how imaginative you are. So.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay.